Well, good morning. I hope the affliction I had last night isn't still with me. I don't think it is. The title for this video is A Whole Lot of Strangeness. I mean, really weird stuff. Where do I even begin? It's not simply a dream in which I actually recognize the people. A whole lot more came into play before and after that. I watched several videos indicating that what we call God is a deception. I shared a meal with a friend, followed by a band, Bath Salt Zombies, recommended by my son. For an hour or so, it felt as if I was losing my mind, unable to articulate what I was trying to say. Before that, my daughter's car broke down not once, but twice, and I'd like to find a way to help her find reliable transportation quickly. And others I know, including the ambassador, are heading to China for a relatively short visit. An astrologer friend suggests to me that Saturn's position in my chart may be less than favorable at this time. I am faced with a lot to think about. Indeed, there is a whole lot of strangeness going on for me. And where to begin is the question. I will begin with the dream, since that is what I mentioned next. The strange part was I don't have very many dreams in which I recognize the characters. Most of my dreams, the characters are unknown to me. This was a very rare exception where I actually recognized a few people in the dream very clearly. I knew who they were, and the role that they were playing in the dream seemed positive to me. You know, it indicated a shift. And it was a positive shift. It wasn't a negative shift. It was a positive shift. But that positivity is perhaps overshadowed by some of the other things that I'm experiencing simultaneously or in the same time frame. As I said, the idea of God, and it all perhaps started with, "Hey God, I'm talking to you," with that video that I recorded, I don't know how many days ago. But a lot of people came forward with other videos to share, including the ones by Jay Essex, I think that's his name, and others that came up linked to the idea that the character, the being that we call God in our Western Judeo-Christian Islamic cultures is a demiurge, a deceptive being, not the nicest character you'd like to introduce your mom to. Someone who is not honorable, who demands worship, who basically leads us down a one-way path to our own destruction and our own enslavement. Not a pretty picture. Something that I am considering, that we've been more greatly deceived even than I would like to admit. But that's a very real possibility, and I believe the sooner we're able to face it and accept the reality that we've been lied to, the faster we're going to recover and get on a path that builds us up instead of tears us down, that empowers us rather than disempowers us, that enriches us, that brings us to a place of blessing instead of a place of cursing. I believe that is the intention of our Creator and of creation itself, to liberate us and bring us home. And that's what I'd like to see happen, and I'd like to see it happen as quickly as possible. Although I know it's a process, I know there are many that say that it will take some baby steps to get us to where we're going. Okay, the friend. I had a meal with a friend because the band that my son suggested doesn't have meals. It's a smoking place, which did not please my friend too much, but she endured a couple of hours there with me after we ate a nice Italian meal together, and she shared some of the things that are going on in her world, which I was very happy and pleased to be able to share with her. But then as we entered the smoke-filled room and prepared to listen to the band Bath Salt Zombies, which I didn't know bath salt implied some kind of drugs. I mean, that was a new idea to me. Bath salts are something to me that are just something you put, like Epsom salt, you put it in your bath water and use it as a soaking mechanism. You know, magnesium sulfate or something. I didn't realize that it also implies drugs until last night, but I'm fairly naive in many things, and that was one of my naive areas. They were an interesting band, not mostly a cover band, which was disappointing to me. They were good, but I prefer to support people that write their own music, not just musicians that play other people's music. But they, you know, they had a banjo and a stand-up bass, and they were quite a talented band actually, and pretty colorful in their costuming. But we didn't even finish actually the first set. They didn't start till 10 o'clock, and both she and I were pretty exhausted. And because of the smoke-filled room, and because of how tired we were feeling, and because it wasn't original music, we cut out a little bit earlier than we would have if the situation was a little bit different. And as I was saying, though, on Thursday night, my daughter's car broke down in the middle of the highway. Stopped at a red light, went to go, the car wouldn't start. We finally managed to get it started. A policeman helped her push it off the road because it was right in the lane of traffic, and that's not a good thing when you've got traffic whizzing by you just before rush hour when she was going to pick her husband up. But anyway, the car broke down. We did manage to get it started. She did manage to get it driven home, and then she and my son-in-law were on the way to the attorney, and it broke down again, completely died. My son this time was able to get it started again and get it to drive home, but there's something seriously wrong with the engine. It's sucking oil out, but it's not burning oil, but it's sucking it out, and it's unclear exactly what the sounds are and what the problem is. It runs for a short time and then it peters out, and that's it, and then it has to go through whatever cycle it goes through to be able to restart again because it totally dies. Now, this is a Dodge Caravan, and Dodge Caravans are notoriously bad. I bought the car for my daughter in August last year, 2013, and within less than 2 weeks, the transmission went on it and had to be completely rebuilt. And there has been one problem after another with this vehicle. It is simply not reliable transportation. And I'm asking if anyone has an idea how I can help my daughter get into some reliable transportation so that I don't have to be the only transportation. My son-in-law, he doesn't have a valid driver's license because of trouble with the law. And I'm basically their transportation right now. And that's something that we need to address as quickly as possible. And I appreciate any help that anyone can give me in that regard so that we can get them into reliable transportation within the next day or two. And I probably should even put this up more quickly because of the fact that I'm asking for help, and we need it as quickly as possible. So maybe I need to schedule this video more quickly than normal because of that situation. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, although I didn't think of it till I'm actually talking to you. But anybody that can help in this matter, Your help would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, the trip to China. The ambassador's on his way. So is Dave Schmidt and his lady friend. I don't remember her name. So is Jace. And I think there are some others that are also involved in this trip that are going to be making a short visit with the ambassador and the Red Dragon and others. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. There has been some talk of me joining for a short while as well. I don't know if that will happen. There are a lot of question marks in place for me in regard to making it possible. The ambassador still seems to feel pretty strongly that I will be starting my mission, if you will, by the Chinese New Year, which of course is in next year in 2015. But we're going to see how everything plays out there. I'm not going to make any predictions. I don't have any expectations. I truly am allowing things to develop as they will. I'm not trying to create anything special. I don't, unlike other people, I don't have a vested interest in getting rich. I don't have a vested interest in being given some special titles. I'm here to serve humanity to the best of my ability. And unlike other people, I don't put a price tag on things. I don't require any kind of special payments for what I do, because that's just, I don't come from that place. I made that decision 20 years ago plus that I would not chase money, and I don't chase titles. I'm here to the best of my ability to help serve humanity, and the most important thing for me in that service to humanity has nothing to do with money. The single most important thing is to get rid of admiralty law. I mean, eradicate it from the planet, because it's a criminal system that enslaves humanity, that extorts the wealth from humanity, and that is the single most important thing to change. That needs to be backed financially if we're going to really change the world. That's where it's going to have to begin. Everything else is window dressing. If they don't change the way the law operates, they've done nothing. And when I say they, I'm talking about the family, I'm talking about creation, I'm talking about the creator. This is the thing that breaks the back of humanity. And again, it probably has to do with the deception of our so-called God or gods being demiurges, being less than honorable creatures, creators. Take your pick. And as I said, we need to return to common law, to human rights, to natural rights, and ultimately we need to clean up our act. But it's going to be a process, step by step, but that's, to me, the most important thing. I don't look to become a multimillionaire or anything like that or more. I mean, that's not my interest, although I would like to be able to help people. That would be wonderful, to be able, when people have needs, to be able to help them. But I'd rather help all of humanity, to have a system put in place where all of humanity can be uplifted. That's what I want. That's my dream. That's my desire. And let's see, where am I now? Saturn's position in my chart. Astrologer Salvador Russo, who is a really good guy. I've done actually some videos where I've read what he's written, and I like the guy. And he said, we send our blessing and hope, and you will consider metaphysical protection from Saturn through gold and yellow topaz. I imagine he means real gold, and yellow topaz is just a stone. So I've not been much into the protection of minerals and crystals and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot about it. It's interesting. I do know that Saturn is also Satan in some people's astrological thinking, and it's an ominous sign. It doesn't usually portend well for those that are under the influence of Saturn, which apparently I am. But the whole world is too, as far as I can tell. And I'd much rather have the fortuitous blessings of Jupiter than the the disadvantageous curses of Saturn playing out in my life. But I don't know how much any of that is real. I do think we're going through lots of changes. I do think we're going through lots of challenges. And as we face these things, as we look at these things and open our lives and open our hearts and open our minds to what's going on in our world and in our lives, I think we're going to find that we are being led step by step to a greater world, to greater blessings, to greater prosperity, to greater revelations on many fronts. And yes, there's a whole lot of strangeness going on. It's really, really weird stuff for everybody. But I think if we continue to take one step in front of another and take one day at a time, that we will move through this and we will find ourselves being blessed beyond measure. That's my hope. That's my prayer. And I thank each of you for listening, and anyone again that can help me get my daughter and her family into reliable transportation, that would be a blessing beyond measure. So if you can help in any way, just let me know how, and I'd be glad to do what I can to make it happen with you, or for you to make it happen with me, however you want to word it or work it through. So I hope I'm not too much more tongue-tied. That was really weird. Like I was losing my mind. I mean, you can ask my friend Kara. I mean, she was, "What's wrong, Ron?" I mean, I couldn't remember the name of the place that I was trying to remember. I couldn't even remember the name of the town that it was in. And there were just other things that I was trying to say things, and I was bumbling and struggling just to find the words to remember what it was called. And I hope that doesn't happen too often, but it was very strange energy for not quite an hour. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and namaste.